Hey YouTube, Kitchell coming at you here with a tournament report. Went to my locals today. Went 4-1, which is not too bad considering I don't play an awful lot compared to what I should, at least anyway. I went down with Mermails, and yeah, it was good. Only lost the one best of three, and that was to probably one of the complete decks down there. There's not a lot of people have got everything they need. I myself miss a couple of cards, but he played a very good variant of H.A.T and definitely deserved the win. Vanities, that new Vanities tribute card. Oh my god, it's just a soul destroying card. But I'll get into that now in the deck profile. I guess may as well go over my my matches first. First round was Madolche's. Yeah, Madolche's. Played Madolche's and good game. Unfortunately, he chose to go first both times against Mermails. Both games, he went first. He didn't open anything to get himself going. He was playing a variant of traptrix, Madolche's, which is decent enough. But he didn't get enough advantage going on either turn one that he chose to go first. And I opened H.A.T Marksman both games with an Undyne. Needless to say, that's that. That's all she wrote for those games. Then round two, I believe I played H.A.T. This was pure H.A.T, just hand, artifact and traptrix. Nothing else fancy going on there. Both games went on pretty long. I won 2-0. Nothing saying that I was better than the person, it's just I opened better than he did. I opened the H.A.T and opened H.A.T with Pike, ditched the Pike, then to get the other Pike, then summoned my Pike to then ditch my Dragoons, which I'd saved. So that got me a lot of advantage then pretty early. Not quite sure why I did it that way. Probably should have just gone Dragoon's Deus, but I don't know, I was feeling frisky, so why not? Yeah, then round three was against a Sylvan player, one of the better players down there, but Sylvans just isn't a good enough deck, in my opinion, relying on your mills, your excavations off the top to then get you into your soul charge, when you could just play dragon dot deck and just mill through all your cards faster, better, and then have stronger beaters later in the game. So not saying that Sylvans isn't a good deck, it's fun, it's got a Graceful Charity. That's pretty much the only reason I'd probably play the deck, just because of Graceful Charity equals wins. But yeah, played him 2-0. 2-0 was the score, but game one was, again, I won, I opted to go second. H.A.T Marksman, pretty much game. Then game two went on for a long time. I decided in 2 maxis, 2 DD Crows, because I was going second. He opted to go first again. He opened Lone Fire into Lone Fire, and I hadn't had any of my hand traps yet. So I was dreading the soul charge, but didn't come, thank God, otherwise that would have been pretty much GG. I had a Dark Hole, but you can't really get around all that stuff. So then it moved on to late game stage. Both exhausted a lot of resources. He had a combo going with the, I think it's the Princess, the one that you tribute to excavate the top, and if you hit something, GG. Yeah, he had a little lock loop going on with that, kept putting stuff to the top, kept excavating, kept hitting, which is the main thing. Had that in the field spell, that one for about 4 turns. I dropped him low and low and low, so he could only resolve 1 soul charge, so I wasn't afraid of that. But then it got to the stage where I'd hit for 1-4, which put him down from 2-8 to 1-4. Then he wiped the field, but he knew I had a Genix controller in hand for the next turn. He then didn't have a normal summon, and didn't use his normal summon for anything, so then he decided to go Miracle Fertilizer. And lo and behold, the DD Crow came down pretty swift and sealed up that game. He opened pretty bad both games. He needed the soul charge in game 2, didn't get it. In game 1 I opened better than he did. That's pretty much all it was. Then round 4, I played both of us undefeated, the only undefeated at the time, against a H.A.T deck that was maining the Vanities. I want to say Ruler, Vanities Ruler. Yeah, the one that negates monster effects. And all day he played next to me, and then I could see that he was pretty much winning every single game simply because of that card being that good. So yeah, went into game 1. I think it was a top deck of there was a top deck of one card which pretty much sealed him the win. I think it was the second Vanities Ruler after I just wiped the board of the first, and he was able to get it down, make it stick. So I was pretty salty about that, but you know, shit happens. I'd been sacking my way through a couple of games all day. So then game 2, really long, really grindy. I thought he got Vanities Ruler out on me again at the perfect time. I was down to little cards in hand. Tidal Engrave, plenty of monsters to remove, but obviously can't do that. Then off the top I ripped a Moon Glacier, and I had exactly 5 Engrave, which was pretty lucky, so summon beat. At this point I was on 500 life points, so then the game grinded on a little bit then as I slowly whittled down, but then he ended up pulling out. We went into time. I needed to win just to draw the matches. But then luckily Sam, the H.A.T player, pulled it out and got the win, really. So nothing I can say about that. It was a really good game, really good player, and I enjoyed it all the way through. Bit salty, but salt goes well on fish and chips, and yeah, I'll just have to enjoy it that way. Then round 5, played against a dragon player, new to playing dragons, so he doesn't know all the combos. Game 1, I made Abyss-Gaios. He'd never seen Abyss-Gaios, so I was lucky on that. So he went into a Mythic ruler play, which he thought he could go Mythic Tree, Mythic Water, Felgrand pretty much game. But unfortunately, he didn't know that when he tried to copy, I could then Abyss-Gaios to skill drain the field. So unfortunately, that was a misplay on his part, but I won it. And then game 2, he didn't have enough time. He was rushing his plays, and then eventually gave me the win. And then I got second place, I believe, at the locals. I don't think someone else might have been on second place with me, like tied, but I think my tiebreakers were slightly higher because I lost a lot later than they did. But yeah, second place, not bad. First time I played Mermails in this kind of format, so that was fun. Yeah, so let's just get into the deck profile and I'll show you the variant I played. Right, so here we go. So played the one-off Tidal, just an absolute monster of a card. Absolutely loved it all day long. Just great card, kept coming back. Moon and Glacier, as I said previously, almost won me a game. Didn't quite get there, but still fantastic for the main effect. No one sees it come in, and you always win when you put it down. Abyss Lead, great beater. 1 point I used the effect to ditch the last card out of someone's hand, but other than that, just a beat stick and a pretty sizable beat stick at that. Just the 1 Megalo. You don't need 2. Definitely don't need 3. I resolved Megalo probably twice, and that was only so I could get an Abyss Sphere to my hand, so I'd have a back row to set. Didn't really win me any games for the double attack effect, but you don't normally play it for that. You normally play it simply to get the sphere to your hand, so then continue your plays later on. Yeah, I wouldn't cut it. You definitely need 1, just in case you can get the win. But other than that, I wouldn't play 2. 3 of the best card in the deck. 3 Tejas, just a great card. I can't imagine playing at 1 in the OCG, but they've got other cards to compensate, so it's not too bad. Love this card. Every time I had it, in my first hand, I'd win. 3 Abyss Lindy. I'm a bit stuck on this card. I love it. I think it's like the single best floater you can pretty much have. But at 3, it's a bit cloggy. You always find yourself having to discard one for a Tejas or a Pike or some sort of effect monster to get yourself going. So I'd probably ditch 1 and go to 2. Yeah, I'd definitely go down to 2 on this card. You don't need 3. Definitely don't need 3. But still, if you play 3, it's not a bad thing. Personal choice. I just play 2. Then you've got the 3 pikes, which I now have in super rare thanks to Astral Pack. Yay! Just an amazing card. You've got to play 3. You can't play 2. You can't play 1. You've got to play 3. Yeah, every single time I had this card in my opening hand, I'd always summon it and get myself into an Undyne, and then the Undyne would get me further down the rabbit hole and eventually pull out a lot of advantage through that. So yeah, then I opted to play the 1 Turge today. Resolved the combo of Pike into Turge with the Gundy twice out of 2 games, and it won me the games, so nothing wrong with that. The 1 Gundy, oh god, I wish she was at more than 1. If she was at more than 1, this deck would just be even more phenomenal than it already is. Yeah, I love her. I think she should come back to 2 maybe to give the deck a little bit more potency, but then obviously Teos will probably have to get hit. So who knows? Then the Atlanteans, got the triple marksman in ulti. Haha, love it. But yeah, just a great card. I played in 3 and it was really good at 3. I could probably downsize it to 2. I did downsize against a lot of the Dragon/Sylvan matchups simply because you don't need 3. But other than that, very good card, and I enjoy it all day long. Atlantean Dragoons, nothing much to be said really. You can only play, if you could play it at more than 1, you played it more. You play the maximum amount. If you could play 4, you play 4. But you can only play 1, and it's just a great card. Resolved a Levier a couple of times just to get myself into more Dragoons plays because it's just that good. Then the final Atlantean, I played the 1 Heavy Infantry. This format, it's really not so good unless you're playing against Ophion deck. So I don't know. Once or twice it came up that it was useful, but other than that, Fish Lips didn't really do anything. So probably just leave him at 1. I definitely wouldn't play him at 2 or 3. There's no need. You've got other ways of getting around stuff. Then the final 4 was just the Undyne/Controller. You couldn't play it at 3 to get it there faster, but I found myself not really needing the 3rd. Personally, just for me, I know I always open at least one of these every first turn, so I opted to just play the double Gundy and the double Controller just to save myself the embarrassment of opening with 3 of these, 1 of these, and only being able to resolve 1 of the 3. So at least when it's 2, it's not so bad. You can always ditch it later on, late game, just for title or something like that. But yeah, amazing card, best card these days. If you go in second, this card is the busted nuts. Gets you off to a really good plus. If you discard Dragoons, it gets you a +2, and you've still got a monster floating on board, which is a water for your title. Yeah, just a great card to play in this environment at the moment, especially with the 5 turns, with the 5 cards on the first turn. So yeah, I can definitely see why this card basically won events. So that's the monsters. Moving on to the I'll do the spells next. We have the 1, 2, and 3 copies of Upstart Goblin. Really good card. Gets you to your pieces a lot faster than if you just didn't play it. Really gets you down into it, and yeah, definitely play this at 3. Unless there warranted a time where you could only fit 2, then you could only fit 2. But I'll always try and play the maximum amount of this card simply because it's that good. Then you've got the double soul charge, triple soul charge. You don't need triple soul charge in this deck. It's not a soul charge deck in a sense. It's not Sylvans. It's not dragons. You'll only pretty much resolve soul charge really. Either for 1 epic first turn, or just to get you back into the combo rhythm with a pike or some sort of ditching effect, and that's when this card becomes key in this deck. I definitely wouldn't play 3. Could even go down to 1, but I think 2 is the right number at the moment anyway. Then you've got the one-offs. I got the one-off mind control. It was good. It was good. I wouldn't say brilliant. It's definitely worth a slot, simply just because of hands. Because anytime you can take a hand after resolving a pike, it's always a plus. So definitely keep it in. You could side deck it, but I don't know. It was a bit lackluster today, simply because I just didn't resolve this to its maximum effect. Then the one of Allure of Darkness to go with your Gen X controllers. Very good card. Just it was so good today. Seeing as the first thing you always go for after a pike normally is an Undyne. After the Undyne, anytime you draw this, it's live. It's 2 fresh cards, as opposed to 1 sometimes useless tuner with 1400 attack. So yeah, definitely a very good idea of people to be playing this at the moment. And then the one of Dark Hole. Dark Hole is Dark Hole. To be honest, you could probably side deck it, but I decided to go main deck simply to deal with Soul Charge Dragons. I didn't want to be sat there thinking, oh, if I had a Dark Hole right now, if only. I'd rather sit there thinking, Dark Hole's in my deck, I didn't draw it, oh well, what can you do? As opposed to, I wish I'd main decked this card. So I main decked it. It was a good choice, came off twice, where that died, wiped a field that was needing of wiping. So I'd probably keep this in the main deck. I don't think I'd side deck it. Then the traps, got the one of Compulsory. Good cards. Sided it out a couple of times, simply because it didn't really do much in the matchups that I was thinking of. Like H.A.T, it doesn't really do a lot. You can bounce back a hand, they'll just bring it back out. You can bounce back a Moral Tackle, they'll just set it. It's only really good against, say, if someone tributed for the Vanities Ruler. Then you bounce it back, but then they still got it to play next time they get into one, so I don't know. It's not an amazing card at the moment, but it's still a decent card because it does hit a lot more of the meta decks than not. So it was good, but I don't think I'd play it again. I'd probably play something else like Mirror Force. The Trench Tribute, just a fantastic card. You've got to play this card. It's just too good. Trench Tribute in someone that's just paid 4k for a Soul Charge. Win. Move on from that. No need to say anymore. Bottom's Chapel, good. Not as amazing now against H.A.T, simply because obviously you don't hit a lot of the cards anymore. So it needs to stay in just in case for Soul Charge Dragons and Soul Charge Sylvans. So Fiendish Chains, wish they were breakthrough skills. Unfortunately, I don't own breakthrough skills. Probably going to pick some up in common, which will annoy me because I'd rather them hollow, but hollow most of the deck. So but Fiendish Chains was good. I wish maybe I'd played a third, so I might go to 2 Fiendish Chain, 1 breakthrough. That would be good. The negation, the attack negation came up once or twice, but sometimes I did wish this was a D Prison or a Mirror Force. But other than that, decent card. Probably obviously Fiendish Chain at the end of the day, and then the triple Abyss Sphere. Very good card. I was thinking about cutting to 2. I can't remember who it was that played it at 2 recently, that won an event, that either topped or won an event. They played 2 of this and people gave them a lot of stick. But after playing the deck today, when you play 3, it's cloggy. If you end up with 2 in hand, it's not a great thing. It's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. But that sphere could be something else. Could be a defensive trap. Could be anything really. Could be just something else you need in that situation. So I might try. I'm going to test with 2 instead of 3. But today I played 3 and it was good enough to get 4-1. So got me a couple of Astral Packs. Got me 3 Super Pikes, which is all I wanted. So not too bad. Then we'll move on to the side deck. Side deck was a bit half-assed, if I'm honest. Played 2 Light Mirrors. They came in 1 time against H.A.T. They came in against the second H.A.T player. Just as an extra card really, as I was going first. So I decided not. I played it, but it didn't come up. I couldn't get to it. It turns out it was stuck at the bottom with my skill drains. And speaking of skill drains, they were the next 2. Skill drain was very good against the first H.A.T player. I definitely rate this card in Mermails. People say, why would you play that against dragons? I found myself playing a skill drain dragon player, and it worked really, really well. Because he had to play them, he had to pay the life points, and then I could resolve my effects underneath. Against first H.A.T player, won me games. I couldn't resolve his moral attacks or his traptrix, so did really, really well. Then after that, we got 2 Black Horn of Heavens. Bit rubbish, this card. Didn't plug it in, didn't think about putting it in. Couldn't see a situation where resolving this would get me into an advantageous position as opposed to just taking a lot of life points then dealing with whatever monster came down afterwards. So I decided not to put this in even once. So yeah, probably wouldn't play it again. At least not in Mermails. It's a good card in rank 4 decks or H.A.T decks, but personally in Mermails I wouldn't play it. Then got the triple MST. Triple MST is triple MST. You've got to play it just in case you get defissured or macrocosmos. I put two of them in once against second H.A.T player, and it was only in there to maybe deal with defissure and defissure or something, or soul drain maybe. But obviously he couldn't side them in either. It was just in there just in case he went very anti-meta on me instead. But yeah, hit one or two things. Wasn't amazing, but MST at this moment in time really isn't an amazing card, unfortunately. But I still love this card. So then you have 2 DD Crows. DD Crow won me a game against Sylvans, so I rate this very well, especially when you combo it with the triple max C. Definitely good cards. I didn't side in 3 maxis a lot. It was always 2 and 2, just simply for the numbers. Really, I couldn't think of a 5th card to take out that maxi would be better than. So I left it in most of the time. But yeah, definitely play 3 just in case you play Infinities or some sort of crazy combo base like Karakuris maybe. And then the last hand trap was the Swift Scarecrow. Swift Scarecrow didn't side it in, but it's just there for the troll decks, like I said, like the Infinity OTKs or Karakuri OTKs, or just even getting OTK'd by like Light Swans. Sometimes it's worth throwing it in just in case you're fearing them going, like, if you know they're that lucky a player, they can just triple JD you on like turn 2. Some players, unfortunately I can't, so that never happens to me, but it's in there just in case. Other than that, you know, just a safety card. It could probably be anything else, to be honest. But that rounds up the hand traps and the monsters for the deck. Oops, sorry about that, knocked the camera. Then moving on to the extra deck. Synchros, the one of Leo, the one of Black Rose. Only Synchros you play. Leo is a beast. Well, he is a beast. But yeah, Leo is very, very good today. Black Rose just Black Rose bomb won me a couple of games. But yeah, moving on. 1 Gaios, 1 Big Eye, one Draco Sack. You don't need any more than this. You could play a second Draco Sack maybe, but there's no need. These 3, perfect as they are, you don't need to say any more. Then the Trite and Bahamut. Very good, pulled it off once, won the game. Anganea as a 3, Leviair as a 3, and because I don't have Alucard, Acid Golem. Could have done it once, probably would have won me the game, but I would have been on the clock pretty much straight away, so decided not to make it, but probably would have won me the game anyway. Then Heartland Draco instead of Cowboy, because Heartland Draco's cute, and I fancied playing him today, really. Cowboy's better, but you never know. Heartland Draco can steal a game from which you probably shouldn't win, especially if you're in time and you can get a Heartland Draco through. It's pretty good. Then La Bubble Chain. Amazing card, never resolved it, but if I had resolved it, it would have been probably a game sealing card, so yeah, very good card. Abyss Dweller, just amazingly good in what's it called, Mermails. You know, you resolve the Dragoons underneath, and then advantage plus advantage. Then the one of Silent Honor Arc, resolved it no times today. Went to make it once, and then decided to make a Laval Chain instead. But yeah, just a great card. And then Excite on Night. Excite on Night, basically Black Rose, but in rank 4 variant. Did it once, but then unfortunately I got Moral Attacked after it. I knew it was coming, but I had an answer for the next turn. But unfortunately, after the Excite on into Moral Attack, the Moral Attack then got followed up by Vanity's Ruler, which then locked out my title, which then lost me the game. So in retrospect, probably not the best card I could have had, but it involved a good top deck from my opponent, so can't always read those. But other than that, that is the Mermail deck I played today. Definitely one more for at least one more week, because Shadows doesn't hit until the weekend, and then probably isn't legal till the following weekend, depending on where your tournaments are. They'll probably be legal at mine, but I don't think anyone will have it other than myself in terms of shadows, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure, and probably see you all next time. Thank you. Bye.